All right, it's Travis Oscar Mike Radio. How are you doing? Here's the thing. I've been doing this for 3 years. 3 years ago in July, I dropped number one this week on Monday. And one of the things that kept coming up with people who have either been guests or listeners, long-term listeners, is I kept getting requests to do this live or in a way that shows my face. Now, I don't know why people want to see my face. I really have no idea. It's kind of a mystery to me, but the request has been made by multiple people. And so I have all the technology and tools to do this. And I'm going to use number 157 to still try something old, which is the sound part of it, and try something new, which is the video piece, which is what you're seeing here. So this is not a true podcast in the strictest sense of the word. However, what's going to happen is I will take this video file that's being recorded with Open Broadcast Studio. For those of you who are listening and not watching, strip the audio track, put it into Audacity, clean it up, and then make it into a podcast, right? This video will be saved, and I will start putting these on YouTube and Facebook as scheduled videos to see how these do. The ultimate idea being is to make more of a for lack of a better term, a TV show, which is why also inner struggle is this has never been about TV. I've always favored radio. I love radio. I love talk radio. And I never really thought about getting into doing video. But I've been doing this podcast for 3 years. I've done 156 episodes or podcasts. I didn't feel that I'd be straying too far to try some new stuff. And I feel that by trying it this way, I can still work on my skills with audio engineering and editing and crafting good audio, but also trying this video format. My sponsor, Joyce Asac, has mentioned this, that people respond to video very well. A couple of my guests, Megan Bruce particularly, mentioned it, and my children have said that, YouTube, Twitch streamers or Twitch streamers, video game streamers that use Twitch will have a image or some kind of screen capture of the person's face while they're playing the video game. So this is all very interesting to me, and I didn't want it to be a full-time job doing this, but I kind of wanted to do it right. So I cranked up Open Broadcast Studio and kind of have this format here. My logo is in the upper left-hand corner with, who I am, Oscar Mike Radio. My sponsor, Joyce Asac, is in the lower left-hand corner. I want to thank her for her support of veterans and the podcast. Go to Asac Realty to check it out. And then there's yours truly. This is what I look like. Headphones on, microphone, patriotic woodworking flag in the background. I'll have that more prominently displayed. And then there's the podcast title for that number below the image of me talking. And I don't know what's going to happen with this. It's going to be more effort. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be more effort. There's going to be more involved in doing it. But it shouldn't be that much more work. I'm simply dumping this file into an editor, adding a title page, if you will, and a closing page, and then staging it on YouTube and Facebook Live, or Facebook videos for Facebook Live. And then I'll have the podcast link set up for the podcast. And the idea is I will have the website link going to the website in the video title. So what I'm trying to say is if you are not a video person and don't want to watch this on your phone or your PC or even your TV, which hopefully you do, I could be on real TV, you can still enjoy the podcast in your car, on your jogs, wherever you want to use your headphones without having to watch your screen. But also, if you're so inclined to look at my dome, if you if you will, you can do that as well. And I'm going to try to on Thursday nights when I drop the video to be online to answer questions or see if this engages with people at a closer level. Because that's the thing I kept getting over and over again is that people want to see you, which again defies explanation. I mean, no one really wanted to see Howard Stern, but as someone told me, well, you can watch Howard Stern do his thing. You can watch Joe Rogan on YouTube. You can watch other people, make podcasts live, and it works out really well. So that is where this idea came from. And if I have the time to maybe do a green screen behind me, or if I have a guest on, to have the guest in a screen next to my screen over a Skype session, I'm going to look at that as well. But the idea is instead of the guest being a voice in the background, you're actually going to see them on the screen talking to me while I'm talking to them, just like a TV show. Because I'm not going to sit there and claim that I'm an expert audio engineer. I am not. I'm not trained for that. I picked it up over time. But I'd like to think I can say confidently that I have my sound pretty well down by now. If I talk to you in person, either at your home, place of business, out in the park, in the back of my, on the tailgate of my truck, and you're sitting in a chair, I'm going to get the best sound possible with the tools I have. The only way to really improve upon that would be to have an actual sound studio to have people in to record there. And that's just not available to me yet. And while it's cool and it's great if you as a podcaster or voice artist have that available to you, I wouldn't have learned as much if I wasn't forced to clean up sound and correct issues and deal with dogs barking in the background, trains going by, things like that, aircraft flying overhead, any number of things, right? See, I usually cut all that stuff out in the podcast. You never hear any of that. It just sounds like one even story. And unfortunately with the video, it's not going to be that way. I'm going to purposely leave some of the character, if you will, in it while I work on the audio on another thing. Again, this is more of the live TV aspect, where the podcast will be a truly podcast ready product, if you will. But it doesn't change anything. I'm going to try this out. I'm probably going to probably starting in August, September, do this once a month, where I kind of do this, and then eventually, in October I'll do this twice. November 3 times, December, the whole month of December, I will do all 4 the same way. And then, January, if there's a good response and people respond to it and they like it, and I've got the process down, and I understand what I can and cannot do, I will then probably do this, going forward. But, 3 years ago, I knew nothing about podcasting. I knew very, very little. I just put a microphone in front of me and turn it on and thought I was, the next, Rush Limbaugh or Howard Stern. And, well, I wasn't. And still not now. I'm still learning something every day, still learning how to do this. And when I say that, there's always something I can do better, or something I learn from each podcast, each time I interview a guest, something I could have done better, something I'm like, oh yeah, I did that really, really well. It worked out really, really well. I'm really happy about that. And some things that just don't work. And I don't learn if I don't experiment. And one of the cool things about this is I get to experiment in my way and really try to push the boundaries in my comfort zone to improve upon what I'm trying to do. And what I'm trying to do, like I said before, is use this platform to connect veterans with other veterans and people who serve other veterans and people who are veterans themselves who have some kind of business or, startup or some kind of cause that they are supporting, and profile them and help them move that along, because as I've been told before, the issue is not the lack of resources. There are resources there. It is simply working with each veteran to connect them to those resources in a way that's positive and affects good change. So the whole point of Oscar Mike Radio was to give people who are trying to do those things a platform to speak and connect to other people who might be in need or who might be able to assist that person with what they're trying to do. Very, very important stuff. And I've had a lot of fun doing it. I've learned a whole lot. I've really gotten into, improving my knowledge of what affects veterans and how veterans issues are handled, both on the local, state, and federal level, how different states handle different issues when it comes to veterans, different stories, some very, very sad, some extremely happy. Some are like, yeah, let's go team. We got it right. And I think it's important to tell those stories because a lot of times you hear the doom and gloom, especially when it comes to the issue of PTS and veteran suicide. So again, if you have any questions about this and how I'm doing this, again, I am on my computer. I'm using a program called Open Broadcast Studio to record this. So I'm recording this to an MP4 file. I'll bring the file into a video editor. I would use Blackmagic's DaVinci Resolve to strip the audio file out, put it in Audacity, and edit that so you hear none of my mistakes. Add a title and a closing page to the video file, and then get ready to upload it on Wednesday, tomorrow night, to stage it for Thursday's drop. And the idea is to see how this is received, see how this goes, see how it works. Just like I did 3 years ago with my first time, opening Audacity on an old laptop with a Blue Yeti USB microphone and trying to put something out there. And seeing if over the next 3 years, in 2021, 2022, that I have a really good polished video product as well. We'll see. I don't know. I might not like this. I might be in 6 months. I'm like, this is just not worth it. I don't like doing it, and go back to being audio only. But I did want to give it a try. And if things work out, I'll go do it every month, every week in, say, the month of September. Or if it doesn't, I will do it in December. I really don't know. But like I've asked before, if you're watching this and you like it and you think that this is something you want to see more of, certainly drop me a line. My email is travis@oscarmikeradio.com. You can find me on Instagram at Oscar Mike Radio, Twitter at Oscar Mike Radio, and Facebook at Oscar Mike Radio, at Oscar Mike Radio. Like, subscribe, share, like. Sharing is caring, all that good stuff. And we'll see what happens. But after 3 years, and I have literally done this for 3 years to the day almost, I felt it was time to change. So hopefully we'll see how this works. This is going to be kind of a short podcast this week because, again, I'm going to do some more work and figure out what the actual time cost is. But if this is liked, I have no problem doing it, and I might just do it anyway to get better at doing it. And hey, maybe one of these nights I'll be talking on here and I'll expand the screen. You can see me actually knitting a blanket, or not knitting, crocheting a blanket. I think Jill would like that down there in Georgia. Thank you very much for getting me into that, Jill. So again, thanks to my sponsor, Joyce Asack of Asack Realty. Go to asacrealty.com to find out more. Tell her that Oscar Mike Radio sent you. There's some more stuff coming on the way. And I can't wait to tell and show you what that stuff is. I'm kind of excited about that. In certain respects, like I'll be able to show somebody what I'm talking about versus trying to talk about it. We'll see how that works. But this was pretty much a good opportunity to do something very new and different and see how it all works. And I'll write up my blog post, and I look forward to your feedback. And thanks for the support. I really appreciate it. It's Travis, your host with Oscar Mike Radio. Lock through launch. We're on the move.